Can you speak to the depth of this football team? This was really a game that, there was a lot of stars out there, but the guys that made the difference in the football game were some guys that many of us were not familiar with. Can you speak to the depth about your football team?
I think it's an excellent observation. We needed everybody on this team that was active in order to finish this game. I think in all three phases of the game, you saw that depth express itself. I think starting in the kicking game, I think, us onboarding J.K. Scott and what he was able to do for us in the punt game, netting almost 49 yards, punt inside the 2-yard line, the hang time, force and fair catch. Just the operation was really critical to our success. And then, a couple guys that, stand out to me is when Keenan went down, DC, DeAndre Carter, comes in and has a huge touchdown, has a couple huge catches for us, gave us a huge lift. And then all the receivers that had to step up, when Keenan goes out, those four guys holding the rope for us, I thought was really, really big in the game. And I thought you saw all three backs carry the ball. I thought you saw at the end of the game there being able to finish the game with the football. Just was really, really excited to see that. And then on defense, I think you saw that it's going to take a village to defend against a team like that. In the secondary at linebacker, rushing, inside, and I thought you saw all that depth on display. And again, it's just a credit to our organization. Many of you just talking to our organization, ownership, personnel department, coaching staff, onboarding these guys, and that's what you need in the NFL.
Was that the vision that you had for this defense? I mean, Carr throws 3 picks, you sacked him 5 times. They seem to never be in a real great flow throughout the entire game offensively.
It's an excellent offensive football team. I think defending them live, they have so many weapons, and they have an experienced quarterback that's seen it all. They have a lot of different ways they can play you, but when you play against a team like that, you're going to have a defensive group that's a complete group. All 3 levels working together, and then you have to have depth because, as you saw, you need all of it to finish it off in 2 minutes against a group like that. And, there's a reason why I say that all the time is because it's the truth. And, a lot of respect for them. But our defense rose to the occasion today. And, when they got the ball and it's 24-19 and they got a chance to finish the game, your defense has got to come through and close it out. And that's exactly what happened today for us.
Can you expand on that? That's key, is you could have had 5 or 6 sacks. But to get that final stop and to see a defense that maybe in years past wouldn't have made that final stop.
Yeah, I was very proud of our group. There was a lot of confidence on that group, because there was that timeout, and I go out there, and it's like, okay, well, what are we going to call here to bring us home? And I saw 11 guys that believed that they were going to close it, and they played like it today. And I think as a coach, that's what you're looking for, is that they have that look in their eye, that confidence in one another, that what we call, we're going to go execute and bring us home. And what I thought you saw in 2 minutes there was our rush and our coverage playing together to bring us home.
And is that defense, what you saw out there today, indicative of why you went and made some of the moves you made this offseason?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you expand on that a little bit, like Khalil Mack, Bryce Callahan?
Yeah, they had 64 yards rushing, to force 3 takeaways. Devontae is as good of a player as there is in this game, and you know how good Waller and Renfro are, and there's just a complete group. The runners, just to be able to defend a team like that, you're going to need an arsenal and be able to do it, in order to do it. And I think that we saw all 3 levels of our defense play together, and that's what our vision was to build a complete defensive football team. And I think that's what you saw out there today, was a complete defensive football team. And there's still a lot of work to do. We're going to look at this, and there's going to be a lot that we didn't like, but we competed the right way. And we did the things that you need to do in this league, which is force takeaways, play tight in the red zone, and take the run away. And I think we did that today.
And their last 4th down looked like you put Derwin on Adams. That just figured that was the best matchup.
Yeah, it was a split safety double.
Specifically with Bryce, Renfro didn't have a whole lot of opportunities. How do you feel about the way the job that Bryce did on him?
Bryce Callahan is one of the top inside defenders in the league, and he has been since 2015. And you guys are all seeing why we brought him here and why we have so much faith and confidence in him. And he's a primetime player, and he can do a lot of things out there that help you win games. And really proud of him, and I know that taking the field with him, it's a great feeling as a coach.
Brandon, what was it like just seeing the day dominated by the new acquisitions, new guys with all 3 TVs, and then Khalil and Bryce goes without saying?
Yeah, I thought that Joe I've seen those guys do all that. So for me, it wasn't anything new. I told the team that, those guys play how they always play, how I've always seen them play. Anybody that has a past with me or, that way, that's what I expect from them. That's what they expect from themselves. And I'm just glad everybody got to see it today.
Sense anything extra with Khalil today because he was out nearly a year with the ankle? Okay.
There's nothing extra with Khalil Mack. Khalil Mack is that way all the time. This is just your first time seeing it.
Coach, what was the reason why Mike Williams didn't get as targeted as often as he got, as often as some people thought he should have?
Yeah, there was a lot of, with Mike, excellent question. We had a lot of stuff up in the plan for Mike that didn't get there. The rush on 3 or 4 times prevented us from doing it. And so it's just one of those games where the ball didn't go that way. But if you look at our targets, I think we had 7 defenders with 4 or 7 offensive players with 4 or more targets. I think that distribution allowed us to play the way that, we wanted to play. And, Justin goes 26 of 34 for 279, 3 touchdowns and no interceptions. We did not have a sack in the game, and I thought that distribution, and we got 31 runs off. So I felt like that distribution allowed us to play a good offensive football game.
The touchdown pass to Carter, while we're on the subject of Justin, I mean, obviously you've seen a ton of him now, but does he ever drop your jaw when you're watching him on the sideline? I mean, that pass was it was unbelievable.
The one to Keenan was better than that. But no, nothing surprising. And he played a really good game today. And the best thing he did was lead our team today. He led our team today and kept our team together. And then to finish with the ball there at the end of the game, protecting the ball, good operation between him and Corey the whole day. And then when you have no sacks and no turnovers, you're going to have a real chance in every game that you play.
You mentioned the no sack. What can you say about your O-line, given the chatter, obviously, with Chandler Jones and Max Crosby?
Well, the reason why Max and Chandler have a lot of chatter is because they've earned it. They're 2 of the top players in the league, certainly at the front of our minds. They both played really good games for them. They're really tough to play against, and it takes all 11 to be able to take on those 2 guys. And, I thought our offense really competed. I thought our O-line, Zion and his first start, obviously just going out there against a group like that and being able to perform. And those 5 guys playing together, our protection plan, I thought was outstanding. Justin using his legs and the receivers and backs doing a good job of getting open. And, it was a tough game. It was just one of those tough NFL football games today, a well-played game by both teams.
Is there any update on Keenan Allen and then also J.C. Jackson as you guys turn around on a short week?
Yes, Lindsay. So with J.C., he worked out this morning. I don't know if you saw that pregame, but he looks good. We're excited. And he's still day-to-day, but we're excited, trending positive. And we'll see for Thursday. I think that it's a higher percentage than it was today. Could he have played today? Maybe. A couple guys came to me pregame and said, hey, he looks good. But you just, we'll see. With Keenan, I don't know enough about that right now. I just saw the guy. He looks good in there. In terms of what he was wearing, what he wore to the game. But I'm going to find out more about his status later.
Just as you guys go into this short week, what's going to be key for you guys tonight going into tomorrow?
Just recovery, Lindsay. Right now, like right next to this wall, there's a bunch of people helping our guys get ready. And our organization, again, getting our players in the best, position to be successful for Thursday night. And so they're working right now. We got a bunch of people working so that we can take the field Thursday night and have a chance against that group because they're a very good group.
Brandon, so much talk about what you've seen Justin develop being in this same offense again. Along that line, what did you see today from him? I know you haven't looked at the film, obviously.
Just poise. I thought poise, composure, playmaking, leadership, toughness. I think all the quarterbacking stuff that you need in a tight game. And I think a lot of little things that to the casual fan they may not notice, but being strong with the ball in the pocket when you're playing against a rush like that, being able to make plays with your feet, that red area, 3rd down that he made and then had the slide, making some plays with his feet to create some space for the receivers. And when you play against a team like that you're going to have to use your legs. And I thought he did a nice job of that today.
Coach, you talk about this organization. There are 2 guys that you guys invested high draft picks in. Sante Samuels was one. The other was Kenneth Murray. both of those guys were pretty significant today. Can you speak about them?
Yeah, proud of Asante. You know, that interception is about as good as you're going to see in the NFL. He's capable of that. He's playing with confidence. He's fearless. You know, he got beat a couple times out there today, but it doesn't bother him, which I love. And there's going to be a lot of things on the film he learns from, because those are a lot of outstanding players that he's playing against. But he's a competitor, and he can get you the ball. And those are two good things in this league. And so proud of him. And then Kenneth, you know, to come off the offseason where he doesn't have a spring, doesn't have a training camp, to go out there and compete like he did today. Hopefully this is the beginning for him, but proud of his toughness, his resilience. And again, he's going to learn a lot from this tape as well, but just showing that competitive spirit and that toughness that we think is really important.
How did you feel you guys were able to run the ball with Josh and Sony when Austin was off the field? Yeah,
I thought it was one of those tough, rugged, football games. Wasn't like a pretty run game where we were able to get some explosives, but it was tough and rugged. What we were able to do was control the clock, control the ball, and then I think when we had to have it, a couple short yardage deals, and then there at the end in a 4-minute to close it out, we were able to get enough done. And it was just one of those tough, rugged games. And I thought all those guys did a nice job. I thought Josh had a couple really good runs, and then Austin and Sony kind of finishing it out for us there at the end.